We are deliberately taking education in the area of early education, right? We believe that it is year 1 to year 9, and that's the stage in which you really can develop and form, the intellectual, growth of that child. So we are majorly focusing on early education, and what we've done, we've looked at all around the country where have we seen success, and I must confess and say that we've gone to research what is happening in Edo State. Godwin Obaseki and myself were still together yesterday. And so we've also signed up, an agreement where we've with that partner, they're working locally and also internationally right now. And so we're targeting our primary schools, right? We're targeting all of the curriculum development in our primary. And what will we be doing? It's going to be some sort of like a web-based, computer-enabled training where two things: we can monitor absenteeism so that we're sure that the teachers are in class. Two, we also can ensure that curriculum in all the over 1,000 schools, primary schools that we have, are being taught the same thing week in, week out. So we can off-site monitor the output that will be coming from all of those trainings that is happening. And we, even as a cabinet, we've said to ourselves, we have a timetable. We started about 2-3 weeks ago. All of us are going to schools to see for ourselves what is the state that we have in those schools, right? We're starting with a first set of 300 schools that we're doing infrastructure improvement on benches in schools and blackboards and everything that needs to be in place for them to be able to receive that level of quality education that we want to give them. So all of that is happening within our early, school. We're not waiting to say that this is superb, it's supposed to be for local government. We're not passing on those responsibilities. We are taking those responsibilities on as a state, and we're saying that is where we need to deal, with the thing very, very seriously, and that for us is the way to go.
We're taking that very seriously. We have the highest number of universities, we have the highest number of secondary schools, but basically the approach has been the same. I had started speaking to Edo. We saw Edo as a good model right before inauguration, and we had to begin to see how did Edo get it right, and we began to adopt some of what the Edo government had done, which is exactly what my counterpart has talked about. We have introduced e-learning, and which required for us to begin to run fiber across the length and breadth of the state. So we're providing our students with tablets, we're providing the teachers with tablets, we're going to ensure that the curricula is uniform across board. We believe that we should catch them young, they would have access to e-library. In fact, we've gone further. We're enumerating all the students in Ogun State from primary to tertiary, and we're giving them ID numbers. So we can ensure that we know where a student is, particularly because they are busy crisscrossing from one school to the other. So once we have ID'd student, ID'd the teachers, we also know exactly when the teachers are in school or when they're not in school. We've also, like my counterpart said, we are basically rehabilitating. The state of schools in the state is worse than pathetic. In Ogun State is, the education capital. We were ranked number 1. That is the state where free education started from. From our Sanwo-olu, and you find students sitting on the floor in uniforms learning. It's just so heartbreaking. So we've gone ahead and started at the minimum, without waiting for Subeb as well. A primary school per ward, and in Ogun State we have 236 wards. So currently, in our first 100 days, we were able to, have rehabilitated about 200 and something out of 236 schools, and that's in the first phase. So we're doing furniture, we're doing the entire rehabilitation, we're doing. So it's like I said, people will come from Lagos, they want to come and live in Ogun and work in Lagos, or live in Ogun and work in Ogun. We must prepare to ensure that they have quality education. And if you catch them young, we can begin to. We actually declared an emergency in Ogun, and I was able to poach one of Governor Sanwo-olu's head of quality assurance in Lagos.
Very typical. we're giving them all of that. Not one, several. Several. We're willing to.
So we're collaborating. We've also introduced what we call an education development unit, which is like a government delivery unit that ensures that not only, because speaking to one of our predecessors who spent so much money and time in education, he said to us that what he found that was most disheartening was after all the money he spent, an example was that he had spent money on this particular institution, everything was all rehabilitated, and then he found out that they didn't have working toilets, and they had turned one of the floors in that institution into a toilet. They were actually defecating on the floor in the school. So it's not only important for you to have all these noble objectives, you must have a government delivery unit that ensures that you are closely monitoring the success and the sustainability and the delivery of this. So we have an education delivery unit that's ensuring that all the things that we are planning are actually on track.